All right. Episode 57, Feeney Talks with Friends. I have a wonderful guest, Andrew Arboe. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Great. This is Feeney Talks with Friends. I use this podcast and I talk with wonderful people in the community that are doing great things. And Andrew does wonderful things in the community. We'll get into that. Let's review 56. Barry Walters from West Hartford Pride. We had a wonderful conversation. Go back and check it out. My name is Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney. Our mission is to help children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. And I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people in the community that are doing great things. What are you doing these days, Andrew?
I'm just keeping busy. Both the companies I work at, well, one I founded, I've been keeping up my toes and some occasional weekend work that I try to do just so it keeps me sane. Yeah. Any amount of people I know. So I was shocked. I didn't know about this podcast until a couple weeks ago. I think it was beginning of July. I kind of forgot, but yeah. I accidentally found the episode with the West Hartford SEPTO. Amazing group.
Nice. Yeah, Randy and Jen was a great episode.
And I saw this and I was like, how do I not know about this? So I just did an email and, well, here I am. So yeah. I look really forward.
I'm very excited that you're here. My friend Andrew is here. Cheers. We're at WeHa Brewing and Roasting on 141 Shield Street. Thanks to our friend Cody and Andrew. They were nice enough to host us. How's the coffee?
Great. Luckily I got the unsweetened, which works for me. Keeps my dentist happy, so.
Yeah. I know they saw that you like coffee. You like coffee shops.
Yeah,
right?
Always a big fan. I always try to look for a couple. I'm kind of one of simple habits. I think it's the stereotype with Connecticut. I think it was called the study habit, I believe. Yep. I believe. And because I like two coffee shops in particular.
Which ones?
Which I don't work for. But if I had cloned myself and decided to work at one of those, I wouldn't be surprised if I picked those.
What are the two? What are your two favorite
Beans
coffee
and
shops?
Coles in Avon, and the Nez Coffee House in Deep River, Connecticut.
Beans and Company in Avon, and what was the other one?
The Nez Coffee House.
The Nez?
Mm-hmm. The Nez Coffee House.
Okay. Writing that down. We're going to put that in the shout-out section. I have a gift card from Beans and Company. I've yet to go there. I can't wait to go there.
You should.
Right? It's so cool. Episode 15, Brooke Daly gave me a gift card. So the Nest Coffee, where is that again?
Deep River, Connecticut. It's quite a drive. You could get off Route 9.
That's far.
It is. For what I do, and we'll be talking about driving quite a bit, I pretty much do anything for a good drive, and especially if there's a work reason, I would do it.
Oh, nice.
Maybe not New York City levels of driving. Like, I would not be able to stand that. And the last time I drove in the urban area, I drove to New Haven for a Yale study.
Oh, nice.
It's quite a drive. And the minute I get close to the city, there was much traffic.
Yeah.
And in the lane I was supposed to go to the right turn was filled up, so I couldn't use it.
I love New Haven.
Shouldn't be surprised.
I used to live in New Haven. Did you stop and hang out in New Haven at all, or just strictly to Yale and back?
After Yale, I got myself a super coffee.
Nice. From where?
It was fun. One of those pharmacy stores.
Nice.
Something nearby. I try to look for shops around there, but I figured to keep it simple, and it was right after freeze, so it's like, should I go now? Should I hold off?
Nice.
But I had some time I could show up in my office, so it's like, might as well kind of bite the bullet and just go with it. Got the thing, had parking for free, and went on the highway, and shockingly very smooth. I was surprised. It was rush hour, and 91 north up the way, like that's
it's the
bit.
worst.
Yeah,
it's tough traffic. So yeah, you like the coffee. I want to shout out WeHa Brewing and Roasting, and also want to shout out some other of our sponsors. We have podcast sponsors. Number one, Direct Line Media, Dave and Kyle. Kyle's back. Kyle, that they are Direct Line Media. They've done the podcast for 57 episodes. You're episode 57, Andrew. How you feel about that?
Nice.
Does 57, the number 57, mean anything to you, or any? No. Like a 57 Chevy, Heinz 57 ketchup.
Actually, not really that much of a numbers guy.
Okay.
I'm really much for just kind of interactions like these and the work connections. I really am about my work.
Nice. Me too. And this is great that I get to talk with you on this podcast. Again, our sponsors are the Fix IV. West Hartford Lock, Keating Agency Insurance, and Gastro Park, all wonderful sponsors. So let's get right into it. So we talked about West Hartford Lock and 3 keys. What are 3 keys that make you a great director of community outreach? You are the director of community outreach for planning across the spectrum. Would you like to talk a little bit about?
Sure.
First, let's talk about planning across the spectrum.
Oh, yeah, sure. And because this is coming out next week when the episode comes out,
Yep.
I'm hoping at some point in the month of August, I'm actually going to be moving to West Hartford, work-wise.
Nice.
So, you know, something like this is actually at the weirdest timing, but it works on everyone's end. So that and my other driving business is moving over to West Hartford. But to actually get into what Planning Across the Spectrum does, and I also go over the story too.
Yeah.
It is a autistic-owned financial firm where it kind of covers a lot of financial aspects for anyone with disabilities. It seems autism specific when you go on the website, but it's actually very neurodiversity focused, where we have at least a good amount of staff that's neurodiverse. There are probably other words to use it, but I'm really not a semantics guy. And not really semantics guy.
Neurodiverse. I like that.
Mm-hmm. So, the founder, Andrew Conru, is autistic. He was diagnosed late, around 2018. Forgot the date. It's also not my business, too. And he would probably agree with that if I was here. But he found out because he was trying to figure out what was going on. And then once he realized this, and he already was doing financial work. He actually has his own company, Tempath Financial. And once he realized that he was autistic, he wanted to do something for that community. So he created Planning Across the Spectrum to kind of fill in that void. And even by looking at it, because I joined around 2019, it came out 2018. I didn't know of any financial advisors that does this, because a little bit of background on me, I was studying to be a disability specialist. I was in their program at MCC, Manchester Community College, and I wanted to really sink my teeth in the autism side of things. And I didn't know, I never thought about the money side. And then at one resource fair, I drove in a Northeastern. My dad was not happy about that. It was more rain, by the way, not snow. And I saw Planning Across the Spectrum. I was like, a money place that's owned by autistic and also hires anyone, not just like anyone else, but anyone with any ability, was also just kind of wild to me. So I had to kind of connect to be like, can we talk?
Yeah.
And the business was Woodbury and Farmington. For now, before the move to West Hartford, hopefully very soon, to just stay tuned on the website.
Yeah, by the time this airs, hopefully people, all our listeners and our friends out there planning across the spectrum, will be moving to West Hartford. And this will be your director, so look out for Andrew and the West Hartford community.
And then I should probably answer the outreach question, the 5 keys, right?
Yep, 3 keys.
Oh, 3 keys. I was a little off.
It's fine.
Honestly, what I do is routine. I feel like routine is key for outreach. One of the things I've been doing a lot lately, because I have to keep up with so many people, because I also have 2 coworkers in 2 different states, Maryland and Arizona.
Wow.
Very radically different, right?
Yeah.
And what I do is I try to ask people about their preference for me contacting them. And just at least so I don't end up being like every week, just kind of bothering them. It'd be like if I were to email this lovely podcast every week. It would get old really quick. If I were to do anything in the future, I just don't see it as good outreach. So I always like to establish a routine where I can check back. It could be bi-weekly, it could be monthly. So I like to stress that.
Nice.
And also probably autism too, just because I'm autistic, and probably is part of that, or probably just a routine that just works for everyone and makes everyone more happy when otherwise. And then the second key is just kind of exploring and just kind of going out and kind of doing things. I accidentally stumbled upon this podcast when I was waking up. I was in the West Hartford, the SEPTO Facebook group. Either that or somewhere, a lot of the disability autism groups in Facebook, where I try to see what happens in those communities. Because you always find stuff. You always find stuff in all those groups.
No, it's so great that Jen and Randy, good friends, talked about West Hartford SEPTO, which is special ed parent teacher organization, SEPTO. So that was great that you saw that. No, really cool. So planningacrossthespectrum.com. You can be reached at 860-606-7065.
And that might be the direct number.
Oh, it's the direct number.
I'm pretty sure, unless it shows a different
and the
number.
main number is 855
Yeah.
Autism 2.
Yeah.
How'd you get the Autism 2 for your phone number? That's great.
I
Well done.
think it's more of my employer to answer that one. I don't do a lot of the technology. Like, I could do like Excel and like the more general stuff, but I just do a lot more just the outreach.
And I like that quote on the back. Unique needs require specialized knowledge.
Yeah, pretty much, kind of like a quote, or probably another term, and my boss is probably gonna be glaring at me for not knowing, but
Yeah. No, I like that.
but it's a good line, it really is.
And this is investment advice offered through Private Investors Group, a registered investment advisor.
Yeah,
Very
very
cool.
financially based. Like, we help because, well, we all know disabilities are not one size fits all.
Yep.
Especially autism, especially that disability. So what advisors do, and I'm not going to mention any financial stuff because that's out of my league. That's why we have advisors over there that are really trained to really go into a family situation or just an individual situation. And we try to do based on what they want to do. Like, they need help able accounts, we'll help them out.
Yeah.
If they want any specific advice, we'll also help them out. So we help them with very individualized supports, also ongoing supports. Like, we have someone that helps them with mentoring, and we also help out companies with their employers' benefits. So we do a lot of work and helping employers out, especially the ones that are very inclusive.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a wonderful program, and I'm so excited to hear about it. So that's your Director of Community Outreach, Planning Across the Spectrum. One business card. This is one man, two business cards. Now, this
Yep.
is also very exciting. And Andrew Arboe, can you tell us about Driving with Autism?
I'll try my very best to keep this condensed since I am kind of doing both companies.
Yeah.
Driving with Autism, another one that's also in the same Farmington office that's also moving to West Hartford at around the same time.
Nice.
For that one, Driving with Autism is a driver readiness program entirely online program that just helps autistic drivers and other disabilities. Like, I open to ADHD and a few other disabilities, but mostly because some of the characteristics of autism, some of that, can kind of coexist with other conditions. And face some very similar driving ones. Not entirely, but kind of some similar driving challenges. So I'm also open to that too, and something I want to highlight more on the website.
Can you explain to our listeners, like, what are the needs with the difference between driving and driving with autism?
I can go over that, and also we'll kind of go over the general webinars that I do.
Please.
Yeah, it's very specific. There's a lot of external and internal barriers with driving. And this is something I dealt with myself, and I'm only speaking from my own experience. I don't like speaking over others' experiences. Like, imagine me trying to speak over other autistic experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And the
Well, that's
online
why they call
community
it the
does that
spectrum.
better.
The spectrum, right? Because it's such a variety of the spectrum. You could be on one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum, and that's where autism,
And then for
like a snowflake,
I'm
no
sorry.
two are the same.
And the same thing applies for like drivers. Like, some drivers may like classical music, or other drivers may like rock music. I mean, I know not disability based, but it's a similar idea.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I do is, like, I want to respect kind of the diversity with that. But actually, kind of get into that before I get very carried away, which I probably will, and because I've already finished up this coffee over here. What we do, and what I do is we do like an 8-part webinar series that helps with driver prep. Just kind of like for anyone that's brand new to driving, or just very interested about driving, or with other individuals that may have no idea where to go, including parents too.
Nice.
Because I'm going to be referencing Connecticut a lot because, well, we're in Connecticut, and I got my license here in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And
So did I.
Connecticut is very awful. No offense to state officials are watching this. The state is not really good with driving resources. And that's not going into kind of driving resources, because very scattered. Like, Connecticut's it's a very censored, like a very highway straight. while West Hartford, you have the walking, you have the buses, train stage. Oh, that's more Hartford. Not sure if that counts West Hartford.
Easy. We have the fast pass, fast track. Excuse
and
me.
the bus service. Yep.
Bus.
I think it's supposed to be a train service there.
Train's coming up soon.
Who knows? But it's like West Hartford has auctions. While if you go to let's say if you want to go Foxwoods area, excluding the buses from the casino, that doesn't count. Maybe unless you want to go to a casino, but it's like if you go in that area, it's like there's not as much driving schools, not as much resources out there. So it's like it becomes a hazard. So someone that may be nervous about driving, but there's not a lot of other alternative transportations like the buses here, in this town in particular. The challenges, so I kind of want to address that. And for real, I've been to a lot of special education conferences. I was actually spoke in the transition symposium a couple of years ago, Yukon Stores over there. And I still remember this. I saw this transportation presentation. I was like, all right, cool. I can actually get to like attend. I was hoping to get something. And then it just talked about buses, which again, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing, mind you. It just talked about the same stuff, services that if you attended a lot of conferences, you already know. And it's like, why am I here? Because I created Driving With Autism to show that, hey, there's ways and that transportation talk should be taken seriously. Because if you're someone that's in one of those really woods-like area, like you have to figure out what to do with transportation. And also for those that are dealing with a lot of anxiety. So the topics, like it's all taught by me, it's all live. Most likely going to be on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Unless something changes, but most likely Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and it goes about an hour-ish.
Nice.
And I cover at least 8 topics. I first want to talk about just general barriers, the motivation why someone wants to drive. I'm always about the motivation. I have a couple topics on parent involvement because parents play a huge role in driving.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I have some slight IEP stuff, while not boring people to tears in that one. And then just showing the alternatives of what if you can't put any of this in an IEP. And then I also go to more driving stuff, like situations, sensory needs. Driving's very sensory-based.
Yep.
Police interactions and strategies to kind of help them not fall into kind of like the trap, or kind of in the problem that's going on, the controversy with the police interactions and disabilities.
Yep.
The unfortunate thing, that really doesn't have to be a thing, but it is.
Yeah.
That kind of make... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I saw that. I just dropped something off and rang the doorbell, and there was a sticker. A child with autism lives here. And that was a new sticker that I saw on a house, just in case, the communication barrier. Is there something do you put something on the cars? Or on the
Connecticut
license?
does have brewer envelopes. That's probably the only thing DMVs have actually done. Because I like to research transportation stuff, try to get a good feel all around a lot of states.
What does Connecticut do? Can you repeat that?
The brew envelopes. It's a brew envelope. You just put it inside your car. You can get them, I think, police stations,
Is that
autism
where
places.
you would pull your license out of, a blue envelope? Or the insurance and registration goes in?
You kind of hand the envelope to officers. It has information inside saying that you're autistic or you're a person with autism.
Nice.
It's kind of a little generic.
And you're Andrew.Arboe at autismdriving.com. Autismdriving.com. Got a website and everything. Who designed the website?
I have a cool guy, and the name kind of escapes me. Plum Development?
Nice.
Something Development. Name escapes me.
And you love, so drives. I got another game then. We just did 3 keys. You said routines, autism, and exploring. You have your 3 keys. Now we're going to do first, last, best, worst. Your first drive, your last drive.
Oh, this will be really good.
Your worst drive, and your best drive. Do you remember your first drive?
Really good one. Let's see. The practice or the very first one, because parking lot, yes.
Let's go parking lot.
Yeah.
First one ever.
I guess anxiety driven because there was not a lot of resources. My dad didn't really know how it's supposed to look at. And it went kind of decent because I was just learning some certain stuff. And my dad, he has like a stern voice.
Yeah.
And just kind of gets me that. And he was already anxious, and I can sense that. I was still went pretty well on the first day, but it definitely took a while just kind of getting used to that. It's like you don't master things in a day.
Never. Yeah, I remember my first drive. I delivered papers with my dad and to move the car
no
from one
parking
house
lots?
to the other. And I was like 10 or 12. Was that a good idea, letting a 10-year-old drive? Am I blowing up Tom Feeney's spot?
Quite different, but then again, a different time period.
Yeah,
Different,
right? It was
era.
the 80s. Was I in the 80s? Was I 10 in the 80s? Yep, I was 88. Good old year. Good days.
I mean,
It's
as
like
long
the
as
Wonder Years, Kevin Arnold.
as long as he didn't like fold a paper into one of the windows,
I
like
used to throw
with
papers-
Paperboy, like
that-
Paperboy NES. As long as he
Ooh.
didn't do that, or try to hit someone with a newspaper,
Or get attacked by a swarm of bees.
and whatever else goes on in that game.
I love that game. All right, so that's your first drive with your dad. Yes, stern dad's yelling at you. Not the best,
Not
right?
too much yelling, but it's like his voice comes off of that, but it's really not.
Like, brake or slow down.
Maybe not that deep. It's like he does a lot of landscapes, so he deals with a lot of people, so
All right.
it comes into business.
Do you remember your last drive?
Last drive does basically this.
Yeah. Where'd you come from? Where are you?
My work office.
Nice.
I wanted to avoid showers if they were a thing. So far they're not. I'm shocked. I'm a little confused. When I saw the sun, I was like,
Yeah. I think it rained around noon, right?
did it? I didn't. I keep looking around the windows whenever I needed to walk around at my workplace. I didn't see any rain.
All right, so you got your first drive. You got your last drive. Now your best one.
That's good because I have so many. I have
Okay.
a lot. I can make it a work one. I actually drove to Newark. Not in the city. I would rather take the bus. I'd rather take Peter Pan, honestly. Or
Yeah.
even that or the train, honestly.
Yeah, to Newark, New Jersey.
I went for a business errand. I went to a really awesome nonprofit over there called the Nicholas Center in Presenceville, Newark.
Nice.
So I think it's 684 if I know my routes. 684, like it's not really that. It was kind of a bit closer to.
How long did it take you?
About an hour, 20 minutes. I went
Nice.
for 84 and then went on 684 and then got off to Presenceville. I'm pretty sure 684. It's been a while.
What made it the best? What was like cool
I
about
pulled it off for I don't really do Newark trips like that before. And they really wanted to learn about driving with autism. And it was kind of interesting circumstances because I was on a day where it's supposed to snow and rain. I was eyeing it, so I was like, okay, if it's a good idea or a bad idea, and my dad was telling me about that. He got much better. And but he pretty much knows how I drive, knows how I can handle driving. And he's becomes like a sidekick of just telling me about whatever. Like, if it was really bad out, he'd be texting me or something. Or
Do
be
you
mentioned the
avoid
day
driving
before.
in the rain or snow? Do you just avoid completely, or do you drive with caution?
And just to be able, technically I drive a Subaru, so those cars can, in Plaza, and it can technically cover that. But I'm still kind of careful. I might do some snow, but it's like a complete snow out because this is New England. It's like you have to ask yourself, and also depends on just work policies. Mm-hmm. Especially if I worked in school, these two, but not anymore for the last several years. It just depends, circumstances.
Yep.
So it wasn't as bad, but I was thinking about the afterwards when I went to Presenceville, Newark. So I did my little outreach there. It was really cool.
Yep.
Really cool. And afterwards, I kind of did back and got gas before prices got really ridiculous. It was back in March, a couple months ago.
Nice. Tell me about now. What about your worst drive?
I still have to continue.
Go. Oh, sorry,
And
you
then
got
it's done
gas.
really well. Like I kind of got off Connecticut. Turns out Connecticut highways were more the issue. And I was trying to get close to the library side, and I decided to just get off Southbury and just went on the route up to 6 and just called it a day.
What sign did you see?
I saw it Southbury, like got off on Southbury.
Oh, before that.
Yeah, before Waterbury, because I knew Waterbury would be kind of,
Waterbury.
yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's that highway side would
You
be
put
quite,
that in the show. That's
quite out there.
That's the running gag. In 57 episodes, we always mention Waterbury, and you did it.
Oh.
Thanks, Andrew.
Oh, I didn't know. You're there, I'm
Well
psychic.
done. Well done.
Good thing the coffee helps then.
And my little brother's name is Andrew. So
I didn't know.
Mention Waterbury. Your name's Andrew.
But yes,
This
it was
is
a good
great.
drive, and it was the first.
So best drive. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, but
Oh, I'd be very done. I'm at the end, and it was the first time I ever felt tired driving. It was the first time, like after I got back, I was starting to feel it. I was starting to kind of feel a little bit of the cramps. It was like the first time like, I ever actually got a little tired. So after I got off, because I had to show up for a town thing afterwards, when I finished up all that, with the snow and the rain, I was very cautious going on Route 6 because, like, it goes up to Watertown. There's a lot of woods area and some pretty Pacific roads where it could be a little messy with the snow. So I take it very seriously. Like, music off, I just kind of do my thing.
concentrate and focus.
And don't go fast.
Always.
Take your time.
Is it 5 miles below the speed limit when you have inclement weather, or?
It varies. If it's like a lot, it's like, yeah, like take off like 5 miles per hour is good. Just whatever kind of makes it comfortable. And if you feel something's off, yeah, that's telling you should probably go a little bit.
Go slow.
Yeah.
All up.
Anyway, to the worst drive, you can go ahead.
Yeah. You're up. Worst drive.
Good question. Maybe today it depends, but right now it's so neutral that it's creeping me out. But we'll see. And hopefully you didn't jinx myself there.
So no worst drives, or you do have a worst drive?
Worst drive. I'm trying to think of one. I could add a praxis, but I was still learning how to.
Yeah, I remember I taught my sister. I'm 5 years older than my sister. Again, wet weather, over by Hot Brook, in between Waterbury and Naugatuck, Hot Brook. And the light turned yellow and it turned red, and she was still going through, so she got stuck to stop
blocking
or
the box.
go. Hit the brakes, spun my car.
Oh my.
Her first time driving with me, and I was just like, hey. And I like played it cool. I didn't like, she still tells me her end is better, but she didn't like, I didn't freak out. I said, so you know,
That's actually good instincts, because
Right?
for anyone, like if like my dad or a personality like that was there, it'd be some shouting. I mean, I don't know how it actually goes, because it'd be a lot different from playing it in your mind to when it actually happens.
yeah.
And I just glad she was all right during that. Sounds really freaky, and then just kind of lost that control for that brief moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Indecisiveness and just, again, should have went a little slower. Or at this point, sometimes you're better off just running the light, instead of trying to stop. And
Yeah, that actually goes into, I'm actually going back to the Driving with Autism. That's one of the things that I highlight, because in one of our topics on driving situations to overcome them, I actually go over a little section that goes how to deal with, any sort of situations, especially on wheelie drivers. That's one of the most common things I hear from people, how to deal with drivers.
Oh yeah, you could only
And really
control
just
your car.
Yeah, and it's a gray area. It's such a gray area. Because if it was like a video game that's kind of like black and white, like if you were out there, or maybe like GTA, if someone was just being a jerk of you, I don't have to say a single thing. Most people get off and try to do something.
True. That's funny.
In that, but life is not like that. It's a lot more different, a lot of reasons, and if you try to do something like that, you'll get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
You get in so much trouble. And then Connecticut's pretty strict with Pacific laws, so it's like even more reasons, and it's again gray-minded, different reasons, and a lot of times you may have to bend the rules a little bit to a reasonable degree. Let's use public buses. Sometimes that you have to kind of go over them, because they'll be stopped somewhere to pick up someone, or you may see them maybe try to get back to the lane after they get someone.
Yep.
So again, one of those that you really have to eye, that sometimes you have to kind of bend those rules over.
Mm-hmm. Common sense is very important to be a driver. You want to make sure you're making the right choice. And then almost like playing chess, you're 8 moves ahead. You want to know what the moves are doing. Like, oh, I see. But be aware of your surroundings.
Good way to put it, actually.
Think about it as a chess game. The street is a chess game. What is that car going to do up here? I see incoming traffic. Oh, the light is about to turn red. Or it's been green for quite some time. So odds are most likely it's going to be red at some point. So start to think that. If I'm taking a left, slow down.
Even more so, like I feel like the highway in your example would be like a more advanced version of chess if you think about it that way.
Oh, highway, yeah. Highway, you
believe
look
me,
it out.
the last couple times I've been on there, there were one or two drivers that were slowing down, and I'm like, why?
Or when the car like
I was forced to slow down and then kind of regain my speed at one point. I'm like, why? Like you could have just went on the right side and
Yep.
right side. I think it was either the middle or the left. I kind of forgot. It's been a while, but it stood out to me. But it's like you really must not slow down whenever possible. I mean, unless traffic happens, because well, highways and traffic are kind of, it happens.
Yeah. But yeah, go slow on the highway. And highway driving, yeah. I'm talking to some counselors at camp. They were nervous on the highway. Totally different. You know, you're going at a high rate of speed. Want to be cautious. 2 hands on the wheel, paying attention. I like how you say you put down the music. Turn down the music. That's
Yeah,
important.
I'm a type of person where I actually use a lot of video game soundtracks. It's just something, I call it like my own sensory tool. This is something that I actually wrote a blog on. If you go on our blog page on Driving With Autism, I wrote up a topic called sensory tools. One of my favorite topics where it's kind of like tools people can use, and it could be an object or it could be just music. I was saying, for me, I use a lot of video game music, like anything Nintendo-wise, or because it was a Sega Genesis in this room here.
Yeah.
Let's say if I wanted to listen to, I see Aladdin over there. Aladdin, if I want to listen to the Sega Genesis Aladdin music, I could do that if I want to.
Nice.
And I remember the music being good for that game.
Oh, great music. Great game.
Or either that, or listen to something Nintendo. I could listen to something like Final Fantasy or
What about
the
like
new
Super
series.
Mario
So,
Kart? Super Mario Kart?
That
Is
too,
that good music
yeah.
to do while you're driving?
I listen to more of the Japanese role-playing games in my case. But if I listen to Mario Kart, I technically could.
Nice.
Bluetooth online, hands-free because I have the Bluetooth capabilities in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the perfect ways to kind of play on those tools, but it just helps me hyper-focus. And it's very different for everyone else because other people may use podcasts. And for me, it's not always video game music. I actually listen to some movies, some classic movies that's adapted to radio form, like Wizard of Oz, It Happened One Night. I even listened to a Hitchcock movie that's
one?
adapted to radio form, Strangers on a Train.
Oh, yep.
Oh, you've seen that one?
Yep, I know that one.
They did a really good job. If you ever listen to the video adaptation of that, it's done because I listened to that all the way down to
Newark?
not Newark, definitely not Newark, but kind of Fairfield. It was for a Fairfield for like a resource fair, and I went down 15.5 in that, and it was really good. Like a good hour of just suspense, and they did really well with that.
Nice. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like finding the right tools. So it was, as we're kind of discussing, just a lot of gray areas and just kind of finding ways to solve problems. And again, I find that magical with sensory tools. It's different for everyone. Like I have mine, other people use theirs. Other people may have plushes or something that they can kind of look at and be like, get to that a little bit that calm stage. And I can guarantee you, there's always going to be that one driver of a plush. Mm-hmm. Like you're guaranteed to find someone. Maybe not every day, but on the general, like it's very possible to find one driver when you go out and drive and you look at people's insides. Look at the insides of people's cars. You will see the occasional plush.
Oh, yeah. The
Like
plush.
I actually use one that's actually in my backpack for now,
Nice.
in case the rain and I don't want anything happening
To squeeze
to
with
it.
your hands while you're driving, or just to cuddle
It's
with?
kind of on the top of the rear window, and when I'm stopped somewhere and one hand the steering wheel, always steering wheel, make sure there's a hand on there for anything. I would just have my free hand, just pat it really quickly, and then just kind of do my thing.
Nice. All right, good tip. I'm gonna
Again,
try
a lot
that.
of this I go over in my series, and after people complete the series, like 8 weeks every like Wednesday to 7 p.m., I also take time to go over them with local resources. Because I know what it feels like. Again, just my own industrial experience. Again, everyone's completely different. But I know that depending on the states, some states can be absolutely horrible with these type of resources. So I wanted to help them find what is available that they can actually use. So my program does this a lot on just showing that, hey, there's ways to solve any specific problems, and if you feel like you're not ready, that's okay. Just help find some alternatives. Just kind of get you to something that you want to do.
Very cool.
And that's kind of what my company does. And we got quite sidetracked of all the fun topics.
No, I mean, you're very passionate of your content and your job,
Yeah,
so that's
both
important.
of them, both jobs.
Planning across the spectrum, driving with autism. So you gave me my 2 business cards. Here's mine. What do you think of mine?
I
Our
like
mission
it.
is to
And
help
it's
children.
different shapes, so good way to stand out.
Good way to stand out, different shape. That's for you. Also, take out
Awesome,
your
thank
phone.
you.
This is the dot. So the dot, I can give you the old school business card,
okay.
or you can scan that, or just put it close.
Okay, so I just kind of scan.
Don't even scan it. Just let's see. Just put it close. Let's see if it should work.
Okay, then.
Did it work? Is your phone on?
Oh, let's see, it's on, but I would probably have to look at the back.
Come on, it should happen without that. Let's see. What did it
Oh, my
come up?
phone's a little different, so Android, the Samsung.
Now you can save my contact. All
Yeah.
the Friends of Feeney stuff. Now show what it looks like. Look at that. All of our stuff's on there. Now Andrew has all my content. Thank you,
Oh, and
Doc.
excuse the notifications. Looks like Discord's been a little active.
Got emails, Facebook, Cash App, Venmo, the podcast, the website, everything. Dot. Thank you, Dot. What do you think of the shirt? So I teach third grade.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. We were talking earlier with the infinity sign or the puzzle piece, and then you really don't have a preference, right? You think it's you're more focused.
It'd be probably sacrilegious for someone like me to say, but I honestly don't have a preference. It's like I just want to do the driving stuff. I kind of want to do my outreach job.
Yep.
I just want to connect people to resources and connect them to my employer. Like I don't really have time to think about language preferences or symbol preferences.
Now, do you want to do the read aloud, or do you want me to?
You have a better voice, so go ahead.
So this is my friend Lynn Booth, author. She works at Wolcott School. She's very helpful and a wonderful volunteer to Friends of Feeney, and she wrote a book. And I was going to read this anyway. She has multiple signed copies. We bought. So That's Okay, Children and Autism, written and illustrated by Lynn Booth. So I stand like this. So as it opens up.
Luckily the coffee wasn't there.
Right? So you show and read. Can you see that, Kyle? Kyle? My name is Jeremy, and I'm 10 years old. I have a brother, and his name is Dustin. He has autism. He was born with it, but that's okay. It just makes him a little different from the other kids. He looks like any other kid, but sometimes he doesn't understand things the way that we do. Some kids who have autism can teach themselves another language when they are 8 years old from watching videos on their iPad or remember birthdays of people they don't even know. Some children like to pretend that they are cartoon characters and talk like them. Some pretend to they are a fan and spin around. When something is different, they get upset. They always like to know what is going to happen next. When it comes to eating, some kids with autism only like certain kinds of food. Some may only like chicken nuggets and rice and pizza. Which one do you like? Chicken nuggets, rice, or pizza?
Almost sounds like me when I was young. I'm always, maybe not pizza, or like a different type of pizza. I used to be lactose intolerant. And I kind of went away when I was a teenager. And thank goodness,
right?
Because I can't really imagine now. And I hate to imagine where I can't have a coffee, or if I can't have something out of beans and whatnot.
And they all lived happily ever after. Some children can read chapter books when they are 6 years old and can remember certain phrases and something they've heard and will always repeat that phrase. Some kids can even do big math problems in their head without even using scrap paper. Some kids with autism like to shake their hands in the air and dance around. We're getting those pictures? My brother Dustin is like that too, but he doesn't talk that much. But that's okay. I love him and I like to play with him. We play games on his iPad. Sometimes we ask him a question and he doesn't like to answer it. He just tells me something else. Sometimes he gets upset when things change or he doesn't know what's going to happen next. But that's okay. I always make sure he knows what's coming next. I write things down and read them to him. Even though Dustin doesn't talk very much, it's okay because he has an iPad with a special program on it that has pictures of things that he wants to do and likes to do. He can touch the picture on the iPad and will say a word so we know what he wants. Like if he wants to eat, he will touch a picture of rice on the iPad and say, I want to eat. I help him do things too, like when he needs to wash his hands. Sometimes he gets confused and says too many words. Like if I say, turn the water on, but that's okay. I just say, water on, so we can understand better. When we go to the store, I have to hold Dustin's hand because he will run into the other aisle. He doesn't like it, but that's okay. We just pretend we are spying on someone, and I whisper, and I say it's important that we stay together so we are not seen. Sometimes, when he wants something he shouldn't have, and my mom tells him he can't have it, he gets mad and yells really loud. That's okay, because I usually talk to him about something that he likes to do, and he forgets that he's upset. So if you see someone who may be a little different, it's okay to say hi. They like to be noticed too. Hi. Every person we see has something special for all of us to learn from. Let us recognize every one of them and realize that we are all different just as much as we are the same, and all understand that we need to be kind to each other. And that was about Lynn Booth. Has a wonderful family, 2 adult sons, and patient supporting husband encouraging me in all of my endeavors. I've been working with special needs children for many years, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. I wrote this book to share my experiences and knowledge I've gained. This is the first of many books of the series. I hope to get these books around children in the world with the differences and likenesses in every beautiful person. Thank you for supporting me. And this is Andrew. I hope you enjoy my book and find it informative. Lynn Booth. It's for you.
Nice. Oh, thank you.
Lynn Booth. Thank you, Lynn Booth. She's going to be a podcast guest. She has helped out at many events. She's a wonderful volunteer, wonderful person. Very excited for her book. Congratulations. So excited I got to read it on the podcast. What'd you think?
Liked it. Thank you.
What did it make you think of? Anything?
Some similarities, but also there was a lot of differences. Like, I don't really need, like, an iPad. Mm-hmm. I don't like because it shows, like, a lot of the differences with people. Mm-hmm. I would say I have to, maybe not so much the pizza, but the other foods, the chicken. There's something about autism and chicken. Maybe, again, not everyone, and I really don't want to generalize people. Not really my intention. It's like those common things of just people just happen to like a lot. It's like with Sonic the Hedgehog or and God forbid Pokemon. I was there because I was there at the Pokemon craze of the late 90s, 2000s. I was there watching the movies in the theaters, probably bringing God knows how many toys to the said movies.
Did you play Pokemon Go?
Well, a little bit. I'm kind of more of the main games. More of the main games when the phone game.
Yeah, fun fact, Pokemon Go, right up the street, Lyon's Auto on New Britain Ave, has this big mural, the Friends of Feeney Be a Good Friend mural, and it's a Pokemon stop, Poke-Go stop. Is that a thing? Poke-Go stop? Pokemon stop?
Something like that.
You should check it out. If you're playing the game, you have to be on level 20 or higher to go to a Pokemon stop, come to find out. All right. So, if there was a second grader, a younger kid, how would you explain autism to a second grader?
That's a good question. Then let's try to think of something.
Or how would you explain autism to someone?
And it's very different because a lot of different interpretations. A lot of it it gets kind of back to the semantic stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there's also the debates on whether it's a disability or identity. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of in disability, but it just depends of how kind of use it. Like, it has challenges, it has positives. A lot of people try to fixate on one side. At least my observations. I've been to so many autism groups. Some that gives me so much good info, others that make me cringe. It's kind of the duality of humanity, of all of those several perspectives. And there's always the one group or kind of the couple other groups of like this cool stuff, and it's also like, oh my God, like this makes no sense. And I guess I can only possibly speak about that on my end.
Nice.
Because I really want to stress, it's so different for everyone else. And again, I'd be lying if I say I can talk about, let's say, the kid here's, I can speak for him entirely.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not true. But yeah, it's
good answer. Everyone's different, and
yeah, it's just really just how you
identity or disability. That's a good conversation to have. That's like, do you talk about that at work or the conferences that you go to?
I'm kind of more. I really am hands-on. Nice. Like I said, I'm not really a semantics guy, and my opinions don't reflect any of my organizations. They're my own personal ones.
Nice.
Because some of those debates you have to be kind of careful.
Mm-hmm.
careful. Some get really, really unnecessarily picky. So again, any thoughts I express, they're on my own and not reflective of both companies.
Nice.
Just figure I put that out there in case someone gets a little antsy from listening to me.
Yeah. What do you like more, golf or baseball?
If I were to play mini golf, would that be a third?
Sure.
I wouldn't mind mini golfing. If I want to, like, I would maybe go to, let's say, the Farmington and mini golf because I have the ice cream over there.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that
went
would
there
be a
last
good pick.
night. I went there last night. Great spot.
Mm-hmm.
Farmington Mini Golf. I had the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Sundae. Ooh, great. $9.95.
Last couple of times I went there was actually a prawn machine. I don't know if it still works, but it's like a very, really old prawn machine. That's pretty cool.
Nice. Well, I want to just shout out our Friends of Feeney golf tournament. Our golf tournament is scheduled for September 10th, right? Shotgun start 8:30. Starts at 7:30. We're going to have breakfast and driving range. There are 11 teams already signed up, so we're looking for 7 more teams. We're looking for sponsors. Please check it out. Omar and Miles are the co-chairs of this. We have a big meeting tonight at 8 p.m. Omar and Miles, we're going to do the finishing touches with our sponsors. We're going to have Doro do the food. West Hartford Brewing and Roasting doing the beer. Maximum Beverage is doing a drink tent. Drink Mechanics is doing a drink tent. We're going to have food, games. We're going to have cornhole boards, contests. It's going to be lots of fun. I'm really excited. Goodwin Park in Hartford, September 10th. Please come out and join us. You think you could golf?
Not really. My family, my grandparents, definitely.
All right.
I can see them, either that or my uncle.
And all proceeds are going to benefit children and families who need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. All right, we talked about, I'm a teacher. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite teacher?
I have a couple because I had the paraprofessionals. There was one in the Farmington. I went to Farmington schools, and one that was really good in paraprofessionals. Also really liked It's a Wonderful Life. They really loves Christmas movies.
Yeah, who was that?
When we say names or
Go for it.
kind of Donna Scott. It'd be interesting if she actually listens to this.
Donna Scott, thank you.
She was really awesome when I was in one of the Farmington schools. Been very consistent paraprofessional.
How long did you guys work together?
Probably the less than time until I graduated, honestly. Like, even up to high school, like, just taking there.
So
Even if I was aging out of it, I was aging out of a lot of those services. But she was really cool.
Nice.
And also was responsible for me liking Nightmare Before Christmas, so that's also really cool.
Good movie.
Yep, sure is.
I just finally saw that movie. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Really?
I know, I'm a little late on that one.
Fair enough. Then again, I'm still catching up with classic movies. There's probably still a bunch that I still haven't seen. So, it's fair.
Oh, and then we have one more shout out. This is baseball, YardGoats. You like the YardGoats?
I've been to a couple of games. I haven't gone since, the pandemic.
Friday, August 19th. This is the Friends of Nicholas for the fundraiser for the Parenti family. A wonderful kid. We're helping out support for his time of need. All proceeds are going to go to the Friends of Nicholas fundraiser. You can pay $100 and get your name on the back of a shirt, and it is $20 to get in. We only have about 20 to 40 tickets left, so please get in there while you can. Irish night, it's going to be a good night. It's Friday, August 19th. Friends of Nicholas at the YardGoats. Choo Choo and Chomper. You know who Choo Choo and Chomper is? Choo Choo, the mascot. Chomper.
Oh, over the YardGoats.
YardGoats.
That's coming back to me. Last couple of times, it's been was through a couple. Sometimes they have the Autism Pacific. They have the Autism Pacific ones. In fact, honestly, it's been a long time since I've actually gone.
Gotta go.
And also because I also work full time, that my schedule's been quite tight. More so right now.
And then one more final thing. This Thursday, July 28th, Something Rotten at Conard. This is a hilarious play. They're trying to compete with Shakespeare. It's PG-13. There's some naughty language. They talk about, instead of saying Hamlet, they make something, making an omelet and Something Rotten. It's funny. Nigel's a character. Shakespeare's in it. Friends of Feeney night is July 28th. I'm going to be in it. I have a part.
Oh, cool.
Secret, I'm playing Mother Haggard. So if you look up Mother Haggard, I'm a little nervous. I go to my audition. I go to my practice tomorrow night at 8 p.m. at Conard. Sarah Avery and the West Hartford Summer Arts Festival are presenting this. Sarah Avery is a wonderful person. I taught her daughter Penny 2 years in a row, and I taught her son Charlie. And it's just great working with community members that are doing right in the community, and involving Friends of Feeney, letting us share our mission, get awareness, sell some swag, pass out some information at the table. So July 28th. What are you doing this Thursday? You want to go see a play?
I'm probably most likely. Oh, I have to do my overview. I have to do my overview for Driving With Autism, an event that's. Well, I think people here listening will probably be missing, but I'm doing a few overview that kind of goes over what I do for Driving With Autism. Spanking new presentation for the overview, just goes over everything. I'm really proud of it. Like,
is that something I can share on the podcast link? Is it a link, or do they have to?
Link,
it's a webinar.
But since this is coming out next week, it will most likely be done.
Okay.
So
We could put it in after the fact. If they missed it on Wednesday, can they watch it again? Will be a link?
For people that signed up, they get a recording. For people that signed up, they request it. They kind of keep it kind of specific to that. But I plan to do a bit more in the future. And also, I always like to go out to organizations. And if they want to have me to do a presentation, I would do it. Let's say if West Hartford SEPTO wanted me to do something like that over there, I'd be all for it.
Nice, nice.
And so probably just keep expected on just the Facebook page and the main website for Driving With Autism. I like to try to keep people posted on social media in general.
Cool.
I'm always out doing things.
What time? What do we got, Kyle? Where are we? Hour. We're at an hour. All right, Dave, whenever you get a chance, I got a gift for Dave. Ready for the gift? So, Dave, episode 57, putting up with me, means a lot to me. This is shout-outs to Sophia Kashka at High Meadow Day Camp. She's an art student. She's a wonderful artist. Dave, we talked about getting some custom-made.
It's stylish.
And then this one is really good.
Oh.
Right there. So that picture means a lot to Dave. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That's my dad's artwork.
Yeah.
That's my dad's artwork.
That's actually pretty special.
Yeah, that's my dad's artwork. He painted on a piece of plywood before he had money for canvas and whatnot.
So yeah, custom-made chucks for
These
you.
are awesome, man. Holy cow.
Thank you, Sophia. She's a wonderful artist. Thank you, Dave, for putting up with me for 57 episodes. He volunteers his time and his equipment. So thank you, Dave. I hope you like them.
Thanks.
So,
I love them.
Sophia.
Thank you.
Sophia, he loves them. Thank you. Sophia I had the bridge.
That's awesome.
Pretty good, right? Good detail on that.
Really good. That's really cool.
We were looking through. I knew that picture means a lot to you, so I want to make sure that I incorporate that on the sneaker. So yeah, Dave's awesome.
That's huge, man. Thank you very much. I love that.
He's still talking about him. Good job, Sophia. I had the Bridge Family Center, and I went to the Bridge Family Charity Ball. Ronnie Newton took a picture of my sneaks and put it on the website. They had the Bridge Family Center. So just big sneaker guy. Dave's a sneaker guy now, too. All right, so you ready? Do you have any recommendations or things that people should check out? Like, I'm going to talk about D.B. Cooper. Do you know who D.B. Cooper is?
I should, but...
There's a Netflix special.
Oh, okay.
He, skyjacked a plane and got away with it without harming anyone. 4-part series on Netflix. I'm on part 2. Pretty good. El Santo, Mexican place down at the center. Just went there. Wonderful spot. And then the movie Thor. Did you see Thor? Love and Thunder?
I've been well behind. I still have to see the Spider-Man Away from Home. I think it's Far From Home. Or
wow.
The third one in that MCU.
Okay.
I guess recommendations on my end.
Yeah.
Outside of checking my 2 companies out, do check out Planning Cross Inspection and Driving With Autism. We're moving to West Hartford very soon around the August time. As long there's no delays, but again, we'll be moving into that town, and this year, so it's happening.
Yeah.
And for actual, I'll recommend 2 shows while I'm here.
Go ahead.
Nothing autism disability related. Shocking, I know.
What's it called?
The first show I'll be recommending is The Offer. It's in Paramount Plus, and it goes over the making of The Godfather.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. It stands out, and it actually goes over it's like a dramatized version where it kind of goes over the troubles making that movie. The original Godfather, the very first one.
Nice.
Of like how the movie got the mafia, the entire American community really mad, and the fact that the producer of the movie he actually had the mafia come in and approve the script.
Come on. I did not know that. That's so cool.
He actually had one of the mafia bosses come and read the script of The Godfather, and recommendations actually took off the word mafia so they could actually film. And there's some differences, so it's not entirely true. Again, it's a dramatized series. So again, they take exceptions to the storytelling.
Okay. Sounds cool.
But
though.
if you're a big
Great
fan
recommendation.
if you're a big fan of The Godfather and the acting is really good in the series, again on Paramount Plus, I recommend it. I was able to watch it, and no regrets. I actually got to see The Godfather because of it, so it did its job. And the other one, which it'd be a surprise of no one that knows me really well, Bar Rescue. I've always been a Bar Rescue guy. Reality TV, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still waiting for more news to come up because John Taffer is opening up a place in Watertown, Massachusetts.
Ooh, nice.
There's like a mall over there. There's like a mall over there in Watertown, Massachusetts. It's supposed to open either this summer or maybe in the fall time. I'm eyeing it, and I plan to go there.
Yeah.
And I know some cheat sheets when driving to Mass because if you go on the turnpike, you'll hit tolls every single time. But if you don't hit that, you barely have to worry about tolls because at Route 90, which is that Mass Turnpike, you can look at Google Maps, and you can search up tolls after tolls after tolls.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things I do in my research.
Nice.
when
Good research.
kind of looking at like new routes for me to use. So I've been dying to do a drive over there. But Bar Rescue is a really good show. It's like Gordon Ramsay, but with bars. And there are a lot of cool content. Like it's been really influential to me when I founded Driving With Autism. His professionalism inspires me a lot. I know reality TV, it sounds a little silly, but it works. And Taffer is very consistent with his thoughts and professionalism, so it works.
Very cool. All right. 2 great recommendations. The Offer on Paramount Plus and Bar Rescue. All right. Are you ready for crazy questions?
Sure.
Sponsored by Donut Crazy. Boom. Donut Crazy on Farmington Ave. These are crazy questions. What's your favorite donut?
Strawberry. If I'm at Dunkin', I would grab strawberry.
With sprinkles or no sprinkles?
Sprinkles.
All right. Would you rather... Okay. Would you rather eat a whole stick of butter or a hot pepper sauce? Yeah, these are crazy. A whole stick of butter or a whole bottle of hot pepper sauce.
I think butter seems a bit more objective, or if you want to, just let it melt, especially the temperatures, and you don't have to worry about a single thing.
Boom. Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Good question, because either way, you kind of screwed either way. Especially if you're not a fan of extremes. So, I guess warm because, we have to. Well, everyone has to because it's like the heat wave is currently going on. Mm-hmm. Today's the last day, supposedly, so I guess hot.
All right. Would you rather live in a mansion or a farm?
Pacific, but I guess mansion. Never been too much of the farm environment, but it's still pretty cool.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Would you rather be on the moon or the sun?
I guess be on the moon and kind of being like actually seeing the American history. If the flag is actually still there, like that'd be kind of cool to see a piece of history right there.
How old are you?
29. It does not look like that in case anyone sees my face, but I'm actually 29.
29. Yeah, you look great. Do you have a pet?
German Shepherd.
Do you have any kids?
No.
Did you like school when you were a little kid?
I did. I was a weirder one out of my family, weirder one out of my brother and I. So.
Would you rather eat pizza that tastes like ice cream or ice cream that tastes like pizza?
I'm trying to come up with a response after that. Ice cream that tastes like pizza, which...
It's going to be gross either way. Would you rather have money and be ugly or
I
be...
guess
Oh, go ahead.
pizza with ice cream, at least there's a sweet side, but for the ice cream that's like pizza flavor, it sounds very unhealthy, especially unhealthy, and not to mention, it probably must be the most artificial flavor out there.
Yeah.
You know, like a pizza flavored ice cream, which sounds a little, like, I don't know. I feel like at least the pizza with the ice cream, it kind of seems more logical. If you did your best and try to figure out a way to see what you would have.
Would you rather have pizza with no sauce or pizza with no cheese?
I'd rather have the cheese.
Would you rather be bitten by a vampire or a poisonous spider?
On Spider, in case I want to be Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Pew, pew. That's how Peter Parker got his start, right? Good answer. Who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man. I'm a huge fan of the older ones, the Tobey Maguire movies. Even the third one is a little shaky with the pacing. They put in too much, but it still has a lot of great moments.
What, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I guess fly. I would still love to drive, but for urban areas especially, I could just fly and I won't have to worry about traffic.
True. Would you rather be a cat or a dog?
Another good one? I mean, I've been a dog person. I wouldn't be, but being either a wolf dog or a husky would be pretty interesting, so I'm going to go with dog.
What's your favorite emoji?
I'm going to answer this more specific because I use Discord. I have a Pokemon, like Pikachu surprise. You know, there's a meme where Pikachu looks surprised and people use it as a meme. I like to use those type of things.
Oh, you gotta send that one to me. I want to see it.
And also another one that's also Pokemon specific. It's hard to explain.
So you like Pokemon? Nice. I like Pokemon. Who's your favorite Harry Potter character?
Oh my, it's been a while, but I'm guessing I have to go with Snape.
Ooh. Why Snape?
It seems redundant to spoil an already a decade or two long series, but just a lot of the build-up of his character throughout the books and the movies. So, yeah, I don't even have to say a single thing.
What's your favorite animal?
Recently, honestly, wolf dogs. Just because I've been watching videos of wolf dogs. Even for it's illegal in Connecticut.
Wow. Would you... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Would you rather have apple pie or pumpkin pie?
Probably apple pie, but I'm not too much of a pie person, but I guess I just go apple.
Nice. All right, that concludes crazy. Were they crazy enough for you?
The pizza and the pizza ice cream, that was probably the weirdest one. Like, I'm not sure.
You got any crazy questions for me? Or any questions in general?
Let's see if I can think of one. Let's see. Give me a few seconds. I don't want to drag this up. Would you rather have a coffee that has pizza sauce in there, or a coffee with hot sauce?
I like hot sauce. Pizza, coffee and hot sauce. Sounds delish.
Other coffee people may try to murder me upon me coming up with this question on the get-go. But it's crazy as it comes, and I wouldn't even touch my own creations.
No, that's a great question. That was crazy. That's the whole name of the game. Crazy Question, sponsored by Donut Crazy. They've been a sponsor forever. Gastro Park has been a sponsor forever. West Hartford Lock. Again, Direct Line Media. Dave got his cool new sneakers. Kyle's doing great. Cody and Andrew over here at WeHa Brewing and Roasting on 141 Shield Street. Well, we got our signs here. We have a sale, $25. You could send your message, be a good friend, pick up trash that's not yours, hold the door for someone, give a compliment, and be charitable. Be a good friend. Was that you the whole time, hopefully? So that was wonderful talking with you. We talked about driving with autism. We talked about planning across the spectrum. You are a wonderful guest. I'm so happy to talk with you, Andrew. I hopefully you enjoyed your time here.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I'll say something quick.
Go for it.
I'll definitely see if I can. Think I know 2 people that would probably like this.
Yeah.
And also moving to West Hartford with me work-wise, so I think they'd easily want. And one is with my employer and planning across the spectrum. I'll see how scheduling goes. This is me in my outreaching form, so.
Hey, when you're the director of
So,
community
I'll see what
outreach,
comes up.
you did exactly that. You sent us an email, you reached out, and you told us that you're moving to West Hartford, and all the wonderful things that you're doing. And I'm just so excited to talk with you. I think this is a wonderful. You're a busy man. 2 different business cards. And both doing wonderful things for people in the community. And that's what we're all about at Feeney Talks with Friends. So Andrew at planningacrossthespectrum.com, Andrew.Arboe at autismdriving.com. Both in Farmington.
New URL for the Driving With Autism is www.autismdriving.com. Just for the website.
For the website.
Sorry to correct, but I had to say something.
No, please do. I make mistakes. Again,
Same with mine.
we're going to check out Beans and Company. We're going to check out Bar Rescue and The Offer, the Godfather documentary. We talked about 3 keys that made you great. We talked about your first, last, best, worst. Do you have a favorite restaurant?
Oh, that's a good question because I have a lot of places.
Yeah.
And one I'm still very tempted to go back to, Junior's Restaurant. That's technically in Newark because Junior's Restaurant has the best cheesecake.
Yeah.
Like the world famous cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
It
cheesecake.
It sounds like me going to Newark, but it's like you don't actually have to go to Newark. I mean, you could order online.
Yep.
But Junior's Restaurant is inside Fox Woods in the Fox Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but if you go on the Fox Tower side in the casino.
Good cheesecake.
Yeah, like the best. Like if you've gone to New York City, if you've gone to Grand Central or even the Times Square, you'll see like 2 or 3 Junior locations. I can vouch for them. Amazing cheesecake.
All right. Well,
And the moment I realized it was in Foxwoods a year ago, I just drove over there and did the thing. I'm actually kind of want to go back. Over there, just figuring out the right day.
nice. Drove all the way to Foxwoods.
It's quite a distance. I think it's worth it. And that's kind of the thing with me. Like if it's like it has a lot of value for me to drive, I would most likely do it.
So you drive an hour for a nice piece of cheesecake. I don't blame you. I
And
would too.
I'm like whatever of gambling. It might be good luck because Foxwoods is pretty big. If you go inside there, there's so much to walk around.
Nice.
So it's like after cheesecake, you can just walk around. You don't even have to play any of the games. I'm not too much into that. So it's just cheesecake for me, which seems a little silly, but it's worth it.
Yeah, cheesecake. All right, so he's going to eat at Junior's. We have gotten a lot of favorite restaurants. That's our first Junior's. Any closing remarks?
Again, thank you for having me here. And West Hartford's about to get 2 really good resources. I'm only free because there are other people that will be going in my office too. And again, would be nearby the West Hartford Center, which is very walkable. So I'm actually looking forward to kind of walking in and out.
Yeah.
Because I used to hang out in the center a lot.
I love the
Still kind
center.
of do. Still kind of do whenever I get a chance. Again, busy schedule and everything, but I'll be nearby.
All right. Well,
Technically, I can even take the bus if I want to, but I'd rather drive still. Been my thing.
if you see me, make sure you say hi. If you're available, come to Something Rotten on July 28th. Friday, August 19th, YardGoats game. September 10th, Goodwin Park, Friends of Feeney Golf Tournament. No, again, I had a wonderful time chatting with you. I want to give you a gift voucher for free beverage and a free appetizer here at WeHa Brewing and Roasting. Bring a friend, free, and you can check out Fatty Wagon. This is for you, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Oh,
And
I'll keep this in mind.
driving. If you're a big driver, you'll see these on some magnets. These are car magnets. Be a good friend.
Oh, thank you.
It was wonderful chatting with you. You're doing great things in the community. I'm very excited to speak with Andrew Arboe, episode 57 of Feeney Talks with Friends. We look forward to episode 58, 59, and 60. We're coming up on 60 episodes. All right. And we're here at WeHa Roasting and Brewing. Good coffee, right, Andrew?
Yeah, I liked it.
He drank it all. So on
I'm
3, we're
most
going to
of it.
say, be a good friend. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Be a good friend.
Be a good friend.